Best track saws. Cutting perfectly straight lines through expensive plywood is incredibly stressful when you don't have the right tools. I used to ruin sheets of wood trying to freehand cuts. So I bought and tested the top 5 track saws and track saw accessories on the market so you don't waste your money. Let's find the perfect setup for your shop. Product number 1. Rui Tool Japanese Hand Saw 6-inch. When I first grabbed the beech handle of this little 6-inch saw, I noticed how incredibly light and balanced it felt in my hand. The SK5 high-carbon steel blade has a surprising amount of flex, making it super easy to bend flat against a surface. During my testing, I used it to trim some dowels flush with a cabinet frame. The 3-sided teeth sliced through the hardwood like butter, and the dual-edge design was brilliant. I flipped it to the 14 TPI side for ripping pine, then instantly switched to the 17 TPI side for clean crosscuts. The chip removal was exceptionally smooth, leaving me with a finish that barely needed sanding. If you are a woodworker looking for an affordable, precise hand tool for detailed flush cuts, this is a must-have for your apron. Moving from manual hand tools to some serious motorized cutting power. Product number 2. Skill 15-amp 7¼ circular saw. Picking up this 15-amp saw, it feels substantial and robust, yet not overwhelmingly heavy. The grip is comfortable and the guarded trigger is positioned perfectly for my thumb. I ran this saw through some thick framing lumber and it didn't bog down once. The 5,300 RPM motor chewed through everything I threw at it. My favorite feature is actually the built-in dust blower. While cutting, it kept the sawdust completely off my cut line. Paired with the laser guide, following my marks was totally effortless. I adjusted the bevel to a 45-degree angle, and the positive stop clicked right into place. Changing the carbide-tipped blade was also super fast thanks to the handy spindle lock. For anyone tackling DIY framing or home repairs on a strict budget, this circular saw is incredibly hard to beat. Now you just need a way to make those long cuts perfectly straight. Product number 3. Milescraft 1409 Track Saw Guide. When I pulled this all-metal track out of the box, the rigidity immediately stood out. Unlike cheap plastic guides that bow under pressure, this aluminum rail stayed dead flat when I laid it across my workbench. I clamped this down to a sheet of MDF and attached my circular saw. The low-profile design is fantastic because it still let me cut over 1.5 inches deep, easily slicing right through standard interior doors. During my cuts, the red cutting strip acted as a perfect zero-clearance edge. It seriously reduced the chipping on my plywood veneers, giving me results that looked like they came from a high-end cabinet shop. Just remember, you need additional connectors to link 2 together for full sheet rips. If you already own a circular saw and want track saw precision without the massive price tag, grab this guide. Keeping that track secured requires the right hardware. Product number 4. Wen CT992F 7.5-inch quick-release track saw clamps. Holding these clamps, they feel exactly like premium ratcheting quick clamps. The squeeze grip triggers are highly responsive, and the jaws feel tough enough to handle serious workshop abuse without scratching your materials. I slid these right into the bottom channel of my track, and the fit was totally seamless. The quick release buttons are a huge time saver. Instead of twisting annoying knobs, I just slid the clamp up to the wood, squeezed the trigger a few times, and the track was locked down tight. They have a 2.5-inch throat, giving me plenty of reach to grab the underside of my thick workbench. I pushed the track aggressively while cutting, and it didn't shift a single millimeter. If you are buying a track system, these universal clamps are an absolute necessity for keeping your cuts perfectly accurate. Let's look at a dedicated plunge saw to complete your workshop setup. Product number 5. Wen 7.25-inch track saw. Pulling this corded Wen track saw from the box, the build feels incredibly solid for a budget-friendly tool. The plunge mechanism is wonderfully smooth, and the rubberized handles give me total confidence. I threw the included 40-tooth carbide blade on and ripped through some thick oak boards. The variable speed dial was incredibly useful. I cranked it up to 6,000 RPM for softwoods and dialed it back to prevent edge burning on the dense hardwoods. The plunge action easily cut over 2.5 inches deep, letting me slice through thick slabs without breaking a sweat. I hooked up my shop vac to the 360-degree dust port adapter, and it captured almost all the sawdust, keeping my workspace clean. If you want true track saw functionality with variable speed control without spending a fortune, this is the saw for you. That wraps up my list of the absolute best track saws and track accessories you can buy right now. I hope this helps you get those perfectly straight cuts. Check the links in the description for current prices. Happy building, and I will see you later.